I want to talk a little bit more about these election results from last Tuesday. One thing that you'll notice is a total collapse amongst Republican support uh, among non-white voters. Black voters, 92% in Virginia for Spanberger, 94% for Sherrill in New Jersey. And if you look at the Latino vote, 67-32 in Virginia and 68-31 in New Jersey. Trump won over 40% of the Latino vote in 2024, and you saw a complete collapse in support on Tuesday. So, in response, Latino voter shifts in Tuesday's elections alarm some Republicans. Oh, really? Oh, has it? Republicans have spent a year cheering President Donald Trump's gains among Latino voters in November 2024. Now, Democrats' big wins among Latino voters this week have some Republicans sounding the alarm. This is a wake-up call for the GOP. Representative Maria Salazar from Florida, a Republican, told NBC News. In the New Jersey and Virginia gubernatorial contests, 2/3 of Latino voters supported the Democratic candidates. That support was especially pronounced in New Jersey, where Latino voters made up 10% of the electorate. Democratic Representative Mikey Sherrill won big in areas of the state with sizable Latino populations as she beat Republican Jack Ciattarelli by 13 points and reversed some of Trump's gains in New Jersey. So if you look at this, and Russell has cited this too in some tweets, and I put this out in a tweet, this is pretty incredible. This is pretty off the charts. How Sherrill fared in municipalities that are at least 60% Hispanic. So if you look at Union City at the top of the list, Kamala Harris won Union City by 17 points in 2024. Sherrill won it by 69.
Jesus
in
Christ.
2025. A more than 50-point swing. Like, you don't see this in politics, really.
Wow.
In 2024, Perth Amboy, Kamala by 9, Sherrill by 56. West New York, Kamala by 13, Sherrill by 57. Passaic County, which is a heavily Latino county that Trump actually flipped in 2024 by 7 points, that went to Sherrill by 26. And one of the things that's amazing about this is you see how dramatic the shift towards the Democrats was in 2025. That's how dramatic the shift towards Republicans was from 2021. Because if you look in Union City, the Democrat governor won it by 70 in 2021, and Trump only lost by 17. So, like, you have these massive swing toward the Republicans,
Right.
and then it was completely wiped out by just unbelievable swings away from the GOP among Latino voters. I wonder why that is. We'll get into that a little bit. Some Republicans, including Speaker Mike Johnson from Louisiana, dismissed concerns about Latino voter shifts when pressed by NBC News. I do believe that the Democratic shift that we were able to see and experience in the 2024 election will hold. Johnson told reporters, will hold. Well, it did not hold. But other Republicans say their party should pay attention to Latino voters' shift toward Democrats on Tuesday as the Trump administration ramps up immigrant detentions and deportations. When asked how Trump's immigration agenda is playing in Latino communities, Representative Carlos Jimenez from Florida told NBC News, "I'd be less than honest if I told you, no, everything's great. There are some things that we need to change and have a course correction with in regards to immigration," Jimenez added. Everybody's in favor of gang members, criminals, etc. being deported and all that. Not too many people are in favor of grandmothers and caregivers and all that, falling under the same umbrella. That's the course correction. Oh, is it? Well, here's Exhibit A. ICE violently tackles man with special needs for being non-compliant. Agents claim he refused to answer questions. Neighbors say he is nonverbal autistic. I love how, MAGA is so terrified of autism. They have such empathy for autistic people. It seems like every week we're hearing about another autistic child being mixed up in an immigration raid, or in this case, a guy who's being non-compliant. The guy is clearly nonverbal, as you can see. So this is upsetting video. It's not graphic or bloody or anything, but it is upsetting as you see ICE treating this guy like he just robbed a bank when clearly he has no idea what's going on and no way of communicating to them that he doesn't understand what's happening.
bitches. If y'all have the balls to capture someone with a mask, take it off.
Like this guy clearly, I'm not saying this to be mean, obviously, he has a disability. He has the presence of mind of a child. This would be like doing this to a child, like mentally. And he's clearly unaware of what's going on. He's not aggressive at all. Look at it. Guns, masks. So they're calling that guy non-compliant. Non-compliant. Pretty unbelievable. Now, this is a less violent scene, but equally upsetting and equally outrageous in a lot of ways. Here's ICE agents caught on video beating U.S. citizens in Evanston, Illinois. One ICE agent has a man zip-tied and pinned to the ground, repeatedly punching him in the head while pressing his face into the pavement. This isn't law enforcement, it's brutality. This is disturbing, unlawful, and unacceptable behavior from federal officers operating in our communities. Here's ICE zip-tying a landscaper who's an American citizen.
This is what they're doing right in Evanston. People who are working hard, like immigrants, the weakest, right? They definitely don't feel ashamed of what they're doing because clearly all those masks are just for nothing. ¿Tú tienes ya llamaste? Yeah.
American citizens.
American citizen.
This is absurd.
So this is a guy just working as a landscaper, as a brown person. And so like you look at the Latino vote and you know, because of course what the line is out of MAGA is, well, it's not because they're Latino, it's because they're here illegally. Well, okay, if you are going to zip tie a landscaper who's an American citizen and keep him in custody, essentially, take away his freedom until he can prove who he is, then yeah, that is about as obvious an example of racial profiling as you can get.
Absolutely absurd, right? This is what America has come to. We're taking like people who are working, like hardworking people, hardworking Americans, like sitting here and working.
I am American citizens.
Okay, this is what is happening. This is what America has become. This Gestapo state. Okay, this is it. These are the guys. These are the big American, you know, kind of safety guys that are taking people, right? The big bad immigrants, the big bad, you know, kind of criminals. The guy working next to my house. Okay, yeah, this is it.
Oh, now they pat him on the back. They say, you're good. You're good. Never mind.
So why'd you put him in handcuffs?
A guy who's
yes,
just
this
out
is a big
working.
misunderstanding. Let's take away the people who are working hard in our country.
Misunderstanding. I mean, a guy is out doing his job and you actually put him in zip-tied cuffs until he can prove to you who he is. That's an American citizen with rights. He should sue the shit out of the government for doing that. Like, if that's not profiling, what is? You can't have shit like this go on and then be surprised that Latinos swung against you by 50 points, because that's not even about immigration. Right. That's an American citizen who's just rousted. Another example of this is great. This is a nice guy knocks on the door of this car and asks this guy if he's a citizen without a warrant. Meaning he just felt like interrogating this guy out of nowhere.
Hey, why are you opening the door for? Why open? Why? Do you have a warrant? We don't need a warrant. What's your name? Can I have your name and badge number, please? 0327. What's your name? 0327. What, your name? You don't need my name. All right, you don't need my name either? Yeah, I do. For what reason? I'm just asking. Yeah, I mean, I'm asking too, man.
I'm just asking you if you are an American citizen. Well, you tell me. You're the one with the badge. You're the one who's supposed to have a warrant to come and knock on my door or bang on my car. Like, what are you talking about? Are you? So this is what they're doing. They're going around just saying, "Are you an American citizen?" Tell me that's not overt race-based discrimination. Of course it is. Obviously. And then the guy asks his name. He gives him his number. I don't have to tell you my name. Well, then he doesn't have to tell you his name either. If you don't have a warrant, he doesn't have to say anything to you. What right do you have to just open this guy's door and ask if he's an American citizen?
What, your name?
You don't need my name.
You don't need my name either.
Yeah, I do.
For what reason?
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking too, man.
Where were you born?
Hey,
and look, they take the other guy out.
Taking him?
Where were you born?
I was born here, buddy.
You were born here?
Yeah, fuck out of my way. Hey.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my way. Exactly. Like, I was born here. Like, what do you mean, where were you born? Like, that's just fucking outrageous.
Yeah, I do.
And they take the other guy away. They're probably doing to the other guy what they did to the landscaper in the previous video.
Too, man.
Where were you born?
Hey, where you taking him?
Where were you born?
I was born here, buddy.
You were born here?
Yeah, fuck out of my way. Hey.
Yeah, where were you born? I was born here. Like, on what basis are you asking me that? Do you have any evidence that I'm an illegal immigrant, that I'm not supposed to be here? Or is it just because we're a couple of brown guys sitting in a car, you figure you will come and harass us and ask for our papers, and if we don't show them, then we're going to put you in cuffs? Like, it's incredible. So when people said, because, this is something, and, MAGA played fast and loose with this for a while. Oh, no, we're not racist. It's just we don't want illegal immigrants coming here to take jobs. Okay, so then explain those videos to me. So here's this kid who's talking at a city council meeting, begging for help from his local municipalities because he feels like it's not safe for his parents to be walking around outside.
I'm scared for my parents to walk out their house because I might not be able to say goodbye to them if they go to work. I might not ever be able to say bye or see them again if you guys don't side with us. And I'm scared because of it, because they fought so hard to come here and choose a life for their kids. And I really hope you guys do hear what everyone in this room has been saying, and I hope you guys do side with us, because we are fighting for our rights, and we are getting treated like animals because people judge us by the color of our skin and the way that we talk. And we have a president that acts like a child and doesn't side with us because of the way he thinks about us. And we have a police department that doesn't do anything about us, and that we are here fighting more than they are. So I hope that you guys actually do hear what everyone in this center is hearing or talking about, so you guys can side with us and listen to what everyone's saying, because everyone is scared. I'm scared that I'm never going to be able to see all my friends again. I'm scared that their parents are going to be gone one day. I'm scared that all of us are going to have to fend for ourselves. I'm scared that one day at school that I'm going to get held by people that I don't know, people that are covered, people that I can't identify because they wear masks and they don't properly ID themselves. I'm scared that everyone that I love I'm not going to be able to see them again, because even though that they're U.S. citizens, they don't care about us. They treat us like dogs. They treat us like animals. No one here cares about us because of the color of our skin. So I'm asking you guys, every single one of you guys that are sitting up here, to actually hear us and do something about it, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of telling my mom and dad every day after school that, have you seen the new video of ICE pulling someone over because of the color of their skin? I'm tired of everything. And I hope you guys really do something about it, because I really do want something to change, because I should not live like this as a 16-year-old. I shouldn't be scared. I should be focusing on school when I can't even focus on school.
Yeah, a heartbreaking.
Where was that?
I don't know. It was a city council meeting somewhere. I'm not sure what the location was. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if this says it here. I'm not sure. Could be suburbs of Chicago somewhere. But yeah, no, I know the reaction from a lot of people is going to be like, this is a hysterical kid who's being dramatic. No, we don't pull you over because of the color of your skin. Okay, so what's this?
Why open?
Are you an American citizen?
Why, do you have a warrant?
If he's asking you if he's an American citizen, that means the only reason he is harassing you is because of the color of your skin, because he suspects, based on the fact that you're a brown person, that you're not an American citizen. If you're putting a guy in zip ties who's just doing his job as a landscaper who is an American citizen, then yeah, you are harassing people based on the color of their skin. And if you really want to convince people that no, this is not race-based at all, then maybe you shouldn't have members of Congress go to Halloween parties like this, where Lauren Boebert decided to dress up as a racist for Halloween. She wore a Mexican dress, sombrero, and sign that read, Mexican word of the day, juicy. Tell me if juicy ice coming. Get it? What a sense of humor. Hilarious, right? UC, juicy. Ha, ha, ha. The sign mocks Latinos' pronunciation of the word UC. Her date was dressed as an ICE agent. Yeah, so if you get a closer look, that's her sign there. Mexican word of the day, juicy. Tell me if juicy ice coming. And then that's her date there on the left-hand side, dressed as an ICE agent. So you're going to tell me that this isn't race-based? And then you're going to wonder, based on all of this, why you saw results like this. It's almost impossible to fuck up badly enough to see swings like that. 50 points in 1 year. 1 year. The previous swing was over a period of 3 years because Biden was so horrible, right? But you're talking about in 1 year? 1 year you generate a 50-point swing? That is why. That is why. And it wasn't just Latinos. It's the non-white vote in general. You think painting yourself in blackface for Halloween and imitating black people running out of food stamps, you think that's a way not to drive black voters back into the arms of the Democratic Party? Trump won black men by over 20 points. Look at that. It was a rout. You think raising almost $1 million for a woman who calls a black child the N-word on a playground? You think raising $1 million on Give, Send, Go for that woman and having influencers like Matt Walsh brag about it, saying that he's glad she raised that money, you don't think that leads to results like this? What you're seeing here, and I'll put a shameless plug because I wrote this article on Substack yesterday, is a revival of the Obama coalition. That is the Obama coalition. The Obama coalition was young people, women, Latinos, blacks, Asians. And Trump was very successful throughout his 3 presidential runs in chipping away at that coalition, and until in 2024, it was finally rendered dead, obsolete, a thing of the past. A real opportunity to redraw the political map in terms of the demographic makeup of the two parties, where Trump got over 40% of Latinos in 2024. And with all this shit, and I'm showing you what is essentially YouTube safe, but you can look on X, and we'll show more of it in the coming days and weeks. Obviously, we cover ICE as often as we can. What you're seeing is, how these people were so arrogant that they thought they could just go mask off with no consequence. It's almost like the Trump movement thought that they could defend against any accusations of racism by saying, well, what do you mean we're racist? We won 40% of the Latino vote. What do you mean we're racist? We won a lot of the black vote. They took that 2024 vote as license to be as mask off as they want. Never considering, oh yeah, what happens when people get to vote again? What happens when people actually get a taste of this? What happens when we start knocking on Latino people's car doors at random and asking them if they're an American citizen? And by we, I mean guys with fucking machine guns and masks and military garb. Like, what did you think the result of this was going to be? It's incredibly arrogant. It's incredibly arrogant, but, you know, the old saying, the pride cometh before the fall.
Yeah, it was the success that they had with those groups, I think, was partly that the Democrats did such a good job painting themselves and presenting themselves as very extreme on cultural issues that, in spite of what you might have heard, a lot of people actually do vote on those things. A lot of people actually do care. A lot of people from these Latin countries, Asian countries, they're pretty conservative about a lot of these kinds of issues. That was part of it. Part of it was you have a long history of immigrants and immigrant descended people pulling up the ladder behind them, because who's going to compete for their jobs? If they're recent immigrants, they're probably working the kinds of jobs where they're very vulnerable to illegal labor. So I think a lot of them are like, well, that'll be good. Get no more of them coming. I think a lot of them did not think through what that would look like, right? Because for it to impact the labor market, it would have to go beyond criminals and gang members, right? It's going to have to go beyond that. What was that actually going to look like in practice? I think some people didn't think about that. As far as MAGA goes, very much like whenever they get in charge, the Democrats live down to the worst stereotypes of liberals: effete, out of touch with reality, condescending. This is a case of living down to the worst cliche of what the MAGA voters would be: stupid and racist. Like, that's as soon as they got into power, they went right to the bottom. Shiloh Hendricks, that was a great example. Like, what are you trying to convey by giving $1 million to a fucking racist prostitute? Now, I will grant you, it's not just racist prostitutes. Nobody's ever said about Melania that she's a racist, and they adore her too. So MAGA does have a weakness for prostitutes in general.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
In general, they have an affection for them. But yeah, and I think for a lot of us, ourselves included, who were saying, no, the way the Democrats beat up on the white working class and just say that they're racist, it's not true. And I would still say that about most people.
Yeah.
But we never said that is not a big portion of Trump's base. But I think the revelation after he got elected was, it's a bigger portion certainly than I thought it was, because even the MAGA people who don't lead with it don't push back against it.
Right.
Like, as soon as you didn't see a big debate erupt, like, why the fuck are you giving money to some racist prostitute? Why are you giving money? Why are you making a statue of a black woman in Times Square, a place you've never seen and are never going to see, have never set foot in, something you want to talk about for 2 weeks? What is that saying? You didn't see any of that. So even the people who didn't lead with that kind of basically went along with it. Like, all the worst things people thought about MAGA were proven very quickly to be true once they got power.
Well,
and yes, as you say, the arrogance of it. Like, there's never going to be another election.
Right.
You guys can just let your freak flag fly, no consequences.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, no foresight whatsoever. And what you see is, like, a lot of people who didn't lead with it, they didn't lead with it because they were not in power yet, and they wanted to sort of suppress that shit until they got into power.
Right.
So they were very shrewd enough not to lead with that. And then as soon as they take power, boom.
Yep.
DEI halftime show, right?
Yep.
That gets trending 2 weeks after Trump takes office. All of a sudden, because Kendrick Lamar is a rapper, that's a DEI halftime show. Why? Like, he's a big star. That was not, I mean, I didn't think it was a particularly great halftime show. It was in the middle of, there was nothing. It wasn't like there was a Janet Jackson tit slip or something that would offend the sensibilities of conservatives beyond the fact that it was a rap show. And they got a meltdown over it. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty astounding how they squandered this opportunity. And just to plug, if you want to read the article, it's on our Substack. It's free to read, newdissidents.substack.com. That kind of gets into it a little bit more. But yeah, definitely, that was our last piece of 2025 election commentary that we hadn't gotten to just yet until now.
Please clap.